back to the channel, everybody, and we got an interesting match to get talking about tomorrow. I will be on the agenda after this as well, so make sure to hop on over there. I think it's me, bath time, and a Monday on over there, so make sure to tune in for that there one. But a quick little chat on my own channel first. So Manchester United versus Fenerbahçe tomorrow in the Europa League. Simply put, guys, I think it's pretty much a must-win match at this point. We drew our first two matches. Somehow we managed to get a point out of that Porto match. I don't know how. Thinking back, we were 2-0 up. It was 2-2. It was 3-2. We went down to 10 men, of course, and then Harry Maguire got a late equaliser. Bruno Fernande suspended for tomorrow's match is also a big miss, so that's going to be an interesting dilemma we got to solve. But I guess looking at the squads for tomorrow, it's pretty obvious what we're going to be doing because we have three midfielders on the plane to Fenerbahçe, so that's pretty much going to be that there. We got a couple of different subplots for tomorrow's match. Jose Mournino will be, of course, one of the big ones. Former Manchester United manager, now the manager of Fenerbahçe. They're doing quite well. I'm sure, and from what I've read online, he does seem to be doing his usual antics, so that's no surprise. That's just Jose being Jose. But outside of Champions League qualification and qualifiers, they've lost one match all season, and it was against Galatasaray. I think it was 2-1 away. So he's made them pretty hard to beat. They've got Fred in midfield. They've got Amrabat in midfield, two players who will want to prove a point against us tomorrow. So by all accounts, this is set up for some payback from our former manager, some payback from our former players. But I'm going to try to be optimistic. I can see some people are being positive in the comments. It's good to see everyone down there. Big ups to Steph for being in. I've got 7 votes in the poll at the minute. Pretty split. 43% think we're winning tomorrow. 29% going for a draw. 29% going for the loss in tomorrow's match. I don't know. Like, I would just love one of these European matches to go simply. I would really just love a match where we turn up, we win 1 or 2-0. There's no fuss. But even if we score twice tomorrow, we might concede 3. I don't know what it is about European matches in the last 2 seasons, but we have been absolutely fantastic in terms of throwing away leads. Like I've never seen anything like it. Think back to Copenhagen away. Somehow we drew that match. Galatasaray at home, Galatasaray away. We drew those matches. Somehow we ended up drawing against Bayern Munich when we should have won that their match as well at home. And there was a heap of other matches out there that we really should have done better in. And this season, no different. I think we played one of the Dutch teams. It might have been FC 20. At home, we somehow drew that match. The Porto match, as mentioned, kind of an absolute mess of a performance. Pick ups to Rashford, good to see you, buddy. Delighted old man Johnny, perhaps that could be the centre-back options for tomorrow. I have got the squad. I sent it to bath time earlier for the agenda show. Let me quickly pull that there one up. And also make sure to bring some movie recommendations as well, because I think we're going to be talking about that on the agenda show. But in terms of the travelling squad, it's Altay Bayındır, who we got from Fenerbahçe, of course. We have Heaton, we have Onana, Amas, Dalot, Delit, Lindelof, Martinez, Mazraoui, Ogenya, Casemiro, Eriksen, Ugarte. That's going to be the midfield. We have 3 midfielders going. It's going to be those 3. We've got Ahmad, we've got Anthony, Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford, Ethan Wheatley, and Joshua Zirkzee in the squad for tomorrow's match. So if something happens in the midfield, I don't know what the plan is. I know that Amad Diallo has played at number 10 before. That might be something you see if we need to change things up. But outside of that, like it's going to be Casemiro, it's going to be Ugarte, it's going to be Eriksen, and that's going to be the midfield in tomorrow's match. So hopefully Eriksen can be the creative spark that we're going to need. I'm sure with Ugarte and Casemiro we'll at least have tenacity in our tackles. We might not have the best tackling success rate. We never really do with those two, but we're going to see what we can do in this one. Steph's down there, and she is saying, what is Steph saying? Centre-back options, Dzeko and Tadic up front. Fenerbahçe is all ex-Premier League. Yeah, as we know, Edin Dzeko loved a goal against Manchester United when he was at City. Still doing pretty well. Always I felt a pretty underrated striker, and I think maybe he kind of was at City at the wrong time, because obviously Aguero was the main man there, and he went to Italy and had a good time there, and now he's in Turkey. Tadic, again, didn't quite happen for him in the Premier League at Southampton. Really did happen for him at Ajax. There's more subplots the more we look into this. Tadic was the captain of Erik Ten Hag's Ajax team, for instance, Dzeko used to love scoring against Manchester United. We got Fred, we got Amrabat in there as well. So look, Fenerbahçe, they're going to be right up for this. Mourinho is going to be absolutely relishing the thought of doing United over, and we're in Turkey as well, so that's always going to make things a little bit more difficult. Going away to Turkey is very, very hard away there. It doesn't matter who you are, really. In terms of the grand scheme of things, it's a difficult place to go away. And normally when you do come up against Turkish teams, you take a point away. You're happy to win at home. That's kind of what you're hoping for. But at the minute, Fenerbahçe, they're sitting in 4th place in the Turkish league. As I said before, quite a few draws, but they have only lost one match outside of Champions League qualifiers all season. So personally, I would say they've only lost one match all season, really, in that regard. But I mean, they got players in there who can hurt us. They got Alan Maximum, for instance. Again, I remember him giving an absolute torrid time to Diogo Dalot in a Carabao Cup final. In the recent past, they got Amrabat, they got Fred in there, Soyuncu, again, more ex-Premier League presence in there. So they're definitely going to be up for this. Kostic is a pretty good player. El Nassiri is another good player. They've got players out there who can hurt us, and they got players out there who'll be absolutely up for going out and doing Manchester United over. They're coming off a draw in their most recent match against FC Twente in the Europa League. They drew at the weekend as well, 2-2. Before that, of course, they had won against Antalyaspor. They had beat Union Saint Gallen, I think it is. They lost to Fenerbahçe, as mentioned, but some decent performances in there. It's early in the Jose era there. The feel-good factors there for a season or two with Mourinho before things typically sour. So, they'll absolutely be up for that. They really, really will. Rajat, no one else came. What am I missing? We got Lindelof. Do I think Leitch will be used in midfield if required? I mean, he could be. He could be. I don't know. Like, I've said this a few times on the channel. I've said it on the agenda a few times as well. Martinez has kind of been very frustrating this season. He really, really has. But look, I'm not expecting a lot of people in tonight's stream. I haven't really been active on the channel, and plus it's Champions League night. People are probably more interested in watching Barcelona versus Bayern Munich than listening to me talking about my fears for playing Fenerbahçe tomorrow. Would I take Rafinha and Rashford swap deal? No, I wouldn't take that. I would have took Rafinha at Leeds. Like, I still think he's a good player, but I don't think it makes sense. And I don't know if he's going to leave Barcelona, to be honest. He does seem to be doing pretty well there. Barcelona going really well this season as well under Flick. So certainly, like, he probably wouldn't want to leave. I think that if you do get rid of Rashford, you bring someone better in. But I don't know if we're going to be doing that. But look, I got some Ten Hag quotes anyway. We're talking about him. And that's one of the big matchups for tomorrow. Former manager versus incumbent manager. What's going to happen whenever we play tomorrow night against Fenerbahçe. But look, on Mount, he's been saying a little bit longer than we expected. He'll be back soon. I mean, I keep forgetting Mount even plays for us, let alone being our number 7. Like, I really do. It's just not worked out, this transfer so far. Look, Ten Hag and Mourinho says they've won a lot of trophies in the last few years, but you have to prove yourself every year. He's been talking as well with some further updates. His press conference is going on at the minute, so of course we'll bring some of the more recent stuff as and when we get it. But Onana's been talking about thanking the teammates and stuff. I actually think he's been pretty good this season, Andre Onana. I know he gets a lot of stick, but I actually think he's been very solid in this campaign. But look, this is going to be a big match tomorrow. I hope we can win. I really hope we can win, because I think we need it. And I think whenever we look at the really strange Europa League group stage, somehow with somehow with like 32 teams in it, I think. There is 36 teams. We are currently sitting 21st with 2 points. But a win would theoretically take us as high as 8th, which is one of the automatic spots in terms of not having to play an additional round of qualifiers. Europa League could be an important tournament for us in this campaign as well. In terms of what we're trying to do, and in terms of trying to get into Champions League for next season, it's certainly an option. It's a very viable option. Steph says, my last year's travel with the squad. Any chance of him playing? I would be surprised, Steph. Look, I think there's every possibility that we see him this side of Christmas, but I just feel like it's maybe too early at the moment. But from what I've been reading online from some people I've seen, does look like we might be considering going in for a left back in the January window, and I think we really need that. And I'm sure you guys agree as well. I think Steph might have something else. Mount Malacia and Shaw have all masters in invisibility. Yeah, honestly, like these guys have been. Malacia is probably the oddest one. Like he's been gone since the end of his first season at United. So that's coming up to a year and a half, 18 months out. Like when Malacia went out, he was 23 or something. He's 25, near 26 now, and he's missed a lot of football as well. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. He might never get back to anything like the level that we might have hoped he would have been at. I don't think he was ever the best player, but I think he was always a pretty useful squad option. He did try hard. And whenever Luke Shaw wasn't available in that first season, he did step in and do okay. I'm not going to say he was exceptional or that he was absolutely fantastic, but he did his job, and I think having players like that is never a bad thing. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Malacia, because he was one of those surprise moves, because it did look like he was going, I think, to Marseille, and we went in, we swooped in, got him pretty dramatically. But look, we've been talking about Erik Ten Hag, and he's also had Christian Eriksen in today's press conference. They're talking at the moment. So Eriksen about his future. It's not up to me when my contract runs out. It's up to the club when the summer comes. If the offer is here, I will take it seriously. Eriksen was a player I would have been happy to let go in the summer. I think he stepped up this season. How long he can do it before we inevitably run him into the ground is a question as well. Do I think Jose would be interested in taking Anthony? I hope so. I would love it. And it's one of those ones, it's like Turkish league's actually spent an obscene amount of money in the last couple of years, and that's definitely something I don't really see talked about too much. And they are throwing the cash around in Turkey, so maybe they're a better option to try shift players onto, as opposed to hoping that the Saudi league will take some of these players. I don't know. Steph says 11 likes. Yeah, guys, big ups for those likes as well. Much appreciated. Let me see if I can have a quick look at the Champions League. I'll have a little look in case there's been any goals. I think Rafinha scored for Barcelona. City beating Sparta Prague. That's not really anything that we didn't expect, I would say. I don't think anyone's too surprised with that there one. But certainly, it's been an interesting tournament so far, Champions League. Aston Villa at the top of it at the moment with 9 points. So I mean, Emery's doing a hell of a job there. Dad's Army, Eriksen and Evans holding us together. Yeah, literally. It's one of those things, you have these experienced players, I guess, for this reason, in that they can offer you that, and they can bring you that, and they can give you those kind of important moments where they do step up and just hold things down and keep it all ticking over. So yeah, like I'm not gonna say I'm happy with it. It's not really what I would want. I would want Lenny Euro to be starting at centre back, or De Ligt or Martinez. I would like Bruno to be smashing it this season. I would love to see Mount, really settle in, kick in, get a consistent run of matches, because he's not had that yet in his United career. But at the minute, we just got to turn to who's available. I think Eriksen and Evans have kind of stepped up and had a fairly admirable job at it so far, and that's why they're there. I don't think Evans or Eriksen really expected to be as important or feature as much as what they maybe have done whenever they joined us, but these are the times we find ourselves in. Do I think De Ligt captains us tomorrow, or who gets the armband? It's a good question. I would say maybe Rashford. I feel like that's probably, or Casemiro. I've seen Casemiro captain us a few times. Maybe those are the options we're going to go for. I'm not too sure. Liman's down there. Would I play in Xerxes in Bruno's position tomorrow? I think he could do it. Big ups, man, for joining in, man. Much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, I think Xerxes could do it, and I don't think there's any reason why you couldn't play Xerxes and Højlund up front. I think they'd feed off each other quite well, and you're getting the best of both worlds there, because I think what Xerxes is good at, Højlund's not the best at, and what Højlund's good at, Xerxes not the best at. So maybe a forward two could work tomorrow. I'd be surprised if we do it. I can't remember Ten Hag having gone to up front at any point during his tenureship. It's always been the same kind of 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, one striker up front, two wide men, three midfielders. In some way, shape, or form, that's always what he's been doing. So I would be surprised, if we go back to that there. But it's an option, and you probably could do that and still play with your traditional one central forward, but it just all depends what Ten Hag wants to do, really, I guess. But we will see. We will see what happens in about 24 hours' time. In 24 hours' time, we'll be 15 minutes in. I feel like we might have a good idea of what's going to happen in tomorrow's match. And look, I'm hoping that we can take the best bits of what we've seen at the weekend from Brentford, because whilst it wasn't exactly the best performance or the most controlling, demanding kind of football, where we really put our stamp on the match, it was markedly better at times than what we've seen in recent weeks. And that's kind of what we want to see out of tomorrow's match. We want to see hopefully a win. We hopefully want to get some good moments, and hopefully we want to get some goals and just see what we can do. Like Steph says, same front three against Brentford. Yeah, I would agree with that. I want to see that there tomorrow. I think we function quite well. I wouldn't mind Rashford more on the left-hand side as well at times, if he can interchange with Garnacho, because we've seen some good moments from Garnacho on the right-hand side last season. Whilst I always appreciate Garnacho's confidence and his ability, of course, but one thing I would say about that there that sometimes can annoy me a little bit just is the sheer volume of shots. I think Garnacho had something like 9 shots at the weekend. Obviously scored 1 goal, but maybe there was times he could have made different decisions or whatnot. But I thought it was a good performance from him, and long may that continue. I think Garnacho possibly is the top goal scorer this season. I think he's got 5 goals and 3 assists, so he's certainly going to be up there. And hopefully he can keep kicking on and improve. And hopefully tomorrow night we continue that trend. And looking at that Fenerbahçe team, whilst there is a lot of former players who we will be used to, Fred, Amrabat, Tadic, Dzeko, Saint-Maximin, Soyuncu, players who we've seen before either play for United, play against us. We've come up against a lot of these players. We kind of know what they're about. We've a fair idea of what we're going to get out of a lot of those players, but they'll be up for it tomorrow. I'm not too sure about fullbacks or anything for Fenerbahçe, who they actually are. What kind of age profile you're looking at there, but certainly we do want to see what we can do in tomorrow's match, and I think that's just going to be important, because looking at the fixtures, it's not a bad run. It is not a bad run of fixtures that we've got, and it's maybe a chance to try get something of this season up and running. Obviously, we're not going to be winning anything big, but you want to see improvements, regardless of our thoughts on Erik Ten Hag, whether you're a Ten Hag in or you're Ten Hag out. Personally, I would really put myself in that skeptical side. I'm deeply concerned and deeply questioning whether it's going to work out with Ten Hag at the minute, and I don't know if he's going to have the change within him to make some of these changes that maybe we need. But looking at these matches, there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing better. We're playing West Ham at the weekend. Kudus is suspended. They imploded against Tottenham. They could have lost that match 5 or 6-1 in the end. Then we play Leicester City in the League Cup. We should be beating Leicester City. Chelsea at home. Yeah, look, that's going to be a difficult match. Chelsea's playing well. Cole Palmer's doing really well, so it's going to be about how we deal with that there one. And then we play PAOK in the Europa League. We should be beating them. We play Leicester at home again in the league. Should be beating them. We play Ipswich Town. We should be beating them. Bodo Glimt, again, that's a match we have to be winning. And then we play Everton. So that's our next run of fixtures. We play West Ham, Leicester, Chelsea, PAOK, Leicester, Ipswich, Bodo Glimt, and Everton. That is the next 8 matches. And out of those matches, outside of Chelsea, I think we should be trying to win every single one of them, or hoping that we can. Based upon what we've seen this season, I don't know if we will, but that should be the expectation that we're going in with, hoping for, out of the next 8 matches, 5 or 6 wins. And I think that does a lot for Ten Hag. I think it does a lot for us as a fan base, because at the minute, look, this has been a really difficult season to get into, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling the same. After last season, the disappointments, the anger that we did feel and we did have, and we were absolutely right to have that, we didn't really kick on this season. We haven't really got the results at all in this campaign so far. And it's difficult, and it's kind of hard almost to be fully annoyed. It's almost hard to be angry and really passionate about the club at the minute, because it just feels like everything that went wrong last season, we haven't fixed any of it. We're not looking like we're improving. So that's what we want to see. Tomorrow, let's go out there, try to beat Fenerbahçe. You probably take a point depending on how the match goes, but we should be trying to win that match. At the weekend, there's no excuse not to be beating West Ham with the form they're in. Even if it is away from home. They're missing their best player in Kudus. They had a really bad result at the weekend. They're leaking goals. They're not scoring goals. Their fans are unhappy. The manager's not doing well. This is a good chance for us to go there and put a marker down. Turn up, score a couple of goals, back on the train for up to Manchester, call it a week. And then we play Leicester in the League Cup. Again, that's another match we should be winning. I imagine Leicester won't go full strength. We should be beating them. And then, if you've won 3 in the bounce, all of a sudden things start to look a little bit merrier. And even after Leicester, the matches aren't bad. Chelsea, yeah, that'll be a difficult match. But PAOK, Leicester in the league, Ipswich Town, Bodo Glimt, Everton. These are matches we absolutely should be going out there and trying to win, expecting to win. Turning up with good performances, scoring goals, and hopefully keeping some clean sheets. That kind of can get a season back up and running. Because looking at that Christmas period, it's difficult. We play Arsenal, we play Forest, we got Victoria Pilsen, we got City, Bournemouth, Wolves, Newcastle, Liverpool, and that's all in and around the Christmas period. So you want to go in that with some results, with some points in the bag, and see what happens whenever we come out of that. But that's going to be a really difficult run of fixtures. Going away to Anfield, going away to the Etihad within the same 2 weeks. That's going to be a difficult run. Not to mention the fact that we got 3 matches between those 2 weeks as well. So definitely got to start improving. Definitely got to start picking up these results, and definitely got to start getting a little bit closer to where we want to be. We want to see progress. We can accept that, I guess, but it's about getting ourselves to where we want to be, and we need to start taking positive steps towards that. Look, guys, I think that's going to pretty much do us on the channel for tonight. Just a quick one to build up for tomorrow's match, a quick update and some looks at the thoughts and stuff. I'm going to be on the agenda in about 30 minutes, so that's just why we're wrapping up early tonight. But I should be live again either Friday or Saturday, so please do tune in if you guys are free as well. Really do appreciate everyone turning up tonight. Thanks very much for joining in, and I'll catch everyone in the next one.